Hello everyone! Upon looking at these pictures, let me ask you questions. What can you notice on these four pictures? What are their similarities and what are the four words that will correspond to them as a whole? Do you have any idea? You only have 10 seconds to think. Your 10 seconds start right now. It seems that what you are thinking or guessing is right. You are correct. Those are adventure, mystery, and the supernatural literature. Those four pictures correspond to those genres and therefore similar with each other as they are all genres of literature. Don't worry, those will be discussed right now.
Good day, ma'am. SE1A and SE2BE. I am Rachel A.J. Perez and you are now watching this video to learn more about adventure, mystery, and supernatural literature. Together with my groupmates, we will dig deeper for its meaning of its genre, its characteristics, elements, purposes, and provide some examples. So if you want to know about this topic, stay tuned for this video. Before we formally commence to the assigned topic, let us have a recall first as we define what is the meaning of literature.
Literature is a body of written works, books, and writings published on a particular subject. It can be classified according to a variety of systems, including language, national origin, historical period, genre, and subject matter. It is being utilized barely for writings respectively, considered to be in form of art, a distinct prose fiction, drama, and poetry.
The following are the variety of genres of literature aside from what have been discussed by the previous group. These include adventure, mysteries, and supernatural literature. To further elaborate those, let us first discuss what is adventure fiction or adventure literature. Upon hearing the word adventure, what is the meaning of adventure and where does it come from?
Adventure, as pronounced as adventure, was originally a Middle English word derived from the Old French aventure, which means destiny, fate, or chance, and even event.
To connect the meaning of the word adventure to a literary genre, it will now be defined as...
Today, we define adventure as a remarkable or unexpected journey, experience, or event that a person participates as a result of chance. This last detail, a result of chance, is a key element of adventure. The stories usually involve a character who is brought to the adventure by chance, and chance usually plays a large role in the episodes of the story. Also, adventures usually includes dangerous situations, narrow escapes, problems to be solved through intelligence and skill, exotic people and places, and brave deeds.
Overall,
adventure fiction is a genre of fiction that usually presents danger or gives the reader a sense of excitement. Elements of adventure fiction. It features strong element of danger and fast-paced, action-packed plot in which the hero has to complete a quest or a task in a short amount of time. The adventure story usually takes place elsewhere and uses maps, intriguing backgrounds, and antiquities to interest the reader. Characteristics of adventure fiction include excitement, thrill, difficult quest, action, and mystery. Why is adventure genre good? The adventure genre is built around our desire to search for more in our lives. More meaning, more excitement, and sometimes more treasure. It plays into mysticism of the unknown and works as pure escapism for those reading.
I believe most of us or some of us maybe are fond of adventure genre as it makes us feel goosebumps, makes us think what will happen next, and if the character will survive his or her journey, and so on and so forth. And to give you a short passage that show adventure and can be found in a piece of an adventure, here it is.
The young deckhand can see the approaching island, palm trees swaying in the ocean breeze, sandy shores littered with driftwood, tropical birds singing in the hot Caribbean sun, and somewhere deep in the jungle, buried somewhere was the treasure he had been reading about since he was a young boy. And now, he was going to part of the team to discover it and take it back home to save his nation's people.
Did you now see, hear, and feel what is the sense of adventure there? I bet you do. I know there is still more to know about this genre, but it will also be a great deal if we all browse for it, search for it, and might as well read some books that will enhance our comprehension skills and reading skills. And to give you some must-read books, here is Aaron Carpasao to discuss each and give you a brief summary.
Good day, future educators. I'm Aaron Carpasao, and I will fill your list with exciting books to read. Let's start. Put this book on your number list as I will discuss to you about the Odyssey written by Homer. So why you should read this book?
The Odyssey is a Homer's epic of Odysseus' 10-year struggle to return home after the Trojan War. While Odysseus battles mystical creatures and faces the wrath of the gods, his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus stave off suitors vying for Penelope's hand and Ithaca's throne long enough for Odysseus to return.
The Odysseus' 10-year struggle mainly shows the adventure he went through as he tries to return home after the Trojan War. Along with his journey, battles with creatures and emergence of wrath with gods, and many more are what he faced all throughout his adventure. To know more about this story, you can read it on your own and feel the adventure with yourself. Let's now move on to the next one.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is a novel that tells us the story of Huckleberry Finn's escape from his alcoholic and abusive father and Huck's adventurous journey down the Mississippi River together with the runaway slave Jim.
From its title, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, it obviously shows that this is an adventure literature, which the main character dwells with his journey to escape from his alcoholic and abusive father, happened in the Mississippi River. Again, if you want to join Huck's adventure, you can browse it on your own.
Second to the last example of adventure literature is The Call of the Wild by Jack London. It's a vibrant story of Buck, a big, kind-hearted dog, a crossbreed between a Saint Bernard and a Scotch Collie whose carefree life of leisure was suddenly upset when he was stolen from his home in Santa Clara County, California and deported up north to be sold in Skagway, Alaska and taken further north to Dawson City, Yukon during the late 1890s Klondike Gold Rush, when strong sled dogs were in high demand. As a newcomer to the dog-themed delivery service and not before long their front runner.
Do you think Buck survived his journey or did he fail to do so and die? Why did it call us The Call of the Wild? You are free to read so. Moving on to the last book you must read is The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas.
A young man named D'Artagnan joins the Musketeers of the Guard. In doing so, he befriends Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, the king's most celebrated musketeers, and embarks on a journey of his own.
As D'Artagnan joins the Musketeers of the Guard, his adventure will also start on his own. To not spoil you, that was just a brief overview of the book. Browse for it to know what happened to his journey. Since I just gave you 4 titles, if you want to find out more about adventure books, you can click this link. After knowing the meaning of adventure literature, as well as its examples and overviews, it is now time to move forward to the next genre, which is mysteries. Here is Warley Jr. Malaay to give you some chills.
Hi, good day everyone. My name is Warley Jr. B. Malaay and I am here today to dig deeper about the mystery of the literature. So first, before we proceed, let us define what is a mystery. Mystery means something that is difficult or impossible to understand or explain, or can be a person or thing whose identity or nature is puzzling or unknown. Meaning, the readers do not have an idea of what is going on or what was going to happen. The puzzles are to be solved in their minds to connect it with the literature as its genre. Mystery, or pronounced as a mystery, is a genre of literature whose stories focus on a puzzling crime, situation, or circumstance that needs to be solved. The term comes from the Latin mysterio, meaning a secret thing. Stories can be either fictional or non-fictional and can focus on both supernatural and non-supernatural topics. Many mystery stories involve what is called a whodunit scenario, meaning the mystery revolves around the uncovering a culprit or criminal. Writing a mystery novel is like creating a puzzle. The biggest challenge is knowing when to reveal certain pieces of information to your readers so they remain interested and keep reading right up until the big reveal at the end. Additionally, the mystery genre is a genre of fiction that follows a crime, like a murder or a disappearance, from the moment it is committed to the moment it is solved. Mystery novels are often called hoodoo units because they turn the reader into a detective trying to figure out the who, what, when, and how of a particular.
The mystery genre has been entertaining readers for hundreds of years. Edgar Allan Poe was a master of mystery writing, with works such as his short story, The Murders in the Room Work, from 1841. A good mystery has a certain literary elements to intensify and suspense and build up to a big finale. These elements include
A strong hook. A great mystery should invite the reader to try to solve the crime, and a great opening is critical to piquing their interest. A mystery should start with just enough information about the crime to build intrigue from the first line. This is the defining moment when a reader chooses whether or not they want to continue.
And an atmospheric setting. Stories in this genre should create an ominous and easy mood through setting to support the anxiety of an unknown antagonist lurking in the shadows. Settings in mysteries also offer opportunities to plant clues and red herrings.
A crime is the event that fuels the plot in a mystery novel. Revealed in the first chapter, a crime creates the central conflict that launches the investigation, sending the main character on their quest and spurring the narrative arc.
A sleuth. At the heart of every mystery is the main character determined to solve the crime. Mysteries can enter around an amateur investigator, an average citizen who solves the case. The character development of the sleuth is important. They need a backstory that connects them to the crime or the killer, and a motive that explains why solving this crime is important to them.
A villain. A mystery is often called the whodunit because the culprit is unknown until they're caught at the end. The story follows their movements which propel the story forward. The main character and the reader discover the criminal's identity as the plot reaches its climax.
narrative momentum. A mystery plot is in constant motion thanks to a cat-and-mouse narrative thread. The pacing will quicken the closer the plot moves towards the climax and the closer the main character gets to solving the crime.
A trail of clues. Clues are the literary element that allows mystery stories to engage readers on a deeper level than other types of fiction. The reader becomes an amateur sleuth following the trail of clues to try to discover the identity of the culprit. When writing mysteries, an author needs to have an organized writing process in order to keep track of what clues they're creating, when they appear, and who knows what in order to make sure the plot lines make sense.
Foreshadowing. Mysteries often drop hints of things that will happen in the future. This is known as foreshadowing. A writer can hint a future event with a small clue or through character dialogue. Writers can be more or less direct with foreshadowing, either subtly hinting at future events or explicitly stating what will happen.
A good mystery throws the reader off track. Red herrings are an essential element in mysteries. These false clues build tension by creating other suspects and distracting the detective and the reader and leading them away from the real culprit. A writer creates red herrings by placing extra emphasis on an object, event, or character that catches a reader's attention, making that element seem more significant than it really is to the storyline.
Since you are learning up to this moment, it will now soon be measured through an examination. For additional 3 points to the said examination, you may now send this code to a private message. You can do it.
A satisfying ending. At the end of great mystery novels, there is the big reveal. The sleuth discovers the identity of the culprit. An ending should also provide an alibi for any other suspects to strengthen the identity of the real killer and eliminate doubt, tying up loose ends.
Why is mystery genre important? Mysteries are important because they feature topics that are usually both fascinating and troubling to the human mind, unsolved crimes, unexplained questions and events in natural and human history, supernatural curiosities, and so. To give you an example from an excerpt, here is a short passage that shows mystery. I stared down at the corpse, whose face was covered by a sky mask. Next to the body was a pile of money, the biggest pile of money I had ever seen. Attached to the body was a note. I tore it from the dead man's jacket and read it slowly, over and over, trying to take in its words. Get rid of this and the money is yours. I will deliver the other half after the job is done. Sincerely, F. What I did next was something I would grow to regret for the rest of my life. Does the passage makes you feel the mystery of the scene? From the phrase, corpse whose face was covered by a sky mask, to a dead man's jacket, up to the line, what I did next was something I would grow to regret for the rest of my life. Definitely, it reveals the mystery of a murder. But who do you think killed the man? That is the wonder of mystery. You will now solve it. Aside from that passage, mystery can be really felt when you read more books, especially when you read it from the start until the end. To give you a list of mystery books, here is Miss Princess Martinez to give you some.
A great day to all of you. Are you ready to hear some worthy books to be read? Let us start with the first one. Anatomy of a Murder, written by a Supreme Court Justice under the pseudonym Robert Trevor, is such a classic. It follows lawyer Paul Bigler and his defense of Frederick Mannion, who is accused of murdering an innkeeper. While the case is overwhelmingly against Mannion, his unreliable behavior leaves room for challenges against conviction, and that's where Bigler and his seemingly laid-back attitude comes in. This thrilling courtroom story will keep you on the edge of your seat, wondering how this lawyer can argue such an impossible case. Next, we have The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Professor Robert Langdon is brought to Paris on a reel to shed some light on a bizarre murder in the Louvre. As he and sidekick cryptologist Neville tries to decode the artistic riddles left at the scene, all of which are related to the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Dan Brown takes readers scrambling through the city of love speechless because of the shrewd puzzles and not Paris's beauty. Dan Brown knows how to write up a riddle. Just read the Da Vinci Code and you'll see. The story produced is shockingly satisfying to read, and it will no doubt leave you wanting to travel to France's capital just to retrace Langdon's steps. Former policeman Jack Reacher gets arrested the moment he comes into the town of Margrave for a murder he is sure he did not commit. As he tries to convince the detective in charge of his innocence, Reacher initially only wants to get out of this mess and go on with his travels. The stakes, however, are raised when he found out that his own brother is somehow involved in the mystery and the murder he is falsely accused of. It's nowhere near as simple as he thought.
Time for a learning break. This is what you're waiting for. To attain your 150 peso worth of prize that can be served as your load for an online class or even your money, as well as your browsing and gaming fuel, send now this code to a private message. You matter.
From its title, Killing Floor, it emphasizes a novel full of action and secrets. This will make you puzzled as you think who really committed the murder. Too many mystery books to read and you are free to search for more. Those will make you excited at the same time solve a puzzle. For now, here is Vanessa Grace Liano to discuss the last genre, which is supernatural.
A pleasant day to us. I am Vanessa Grace Liano to tackle the last topic that was assigned to us. Before I proceed, we must define first what is meant by the word supernatural. Supernatural is attributed to some force beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. It means that supernatural incorporates elements that cannot be understood by science and operate outside the rules of the real world. Supernatural can be evident in literatures as supernatural fiction or supernaturalist fiction is a genre of speculative fiction that exploits or is centered on supernatural themes, often contradicting naturalist assumptions of the real world. Supernatural fiction normally concerns with matters of God, the soul, archangels, and resurrection. Subgenres include supernatural horror fiction, gothic, ghost stories, supernatural thrillers, and other macabre stories in the horror genre. Some examples of supernatural things or examples are magic, miracles, recognition, demonic possession, soul spirits or ghosts, monsters, and grim reapers. To give you a list of supernatural literature, here is Ed Loyola to name some.
Good day everyone. To complete your feelings with this genre, here are some books that you should read. Supernatural fiction has been popular for centuries. Some iconic works of supernatural fiction include Pet Sematary by Stephen King follows Dr. Lewis Creed, who, after relocating with his wife Rachel and their two young children from Boston to rural Maine, discovers a mysterious burial ground hidden deep in the woods near the family's new home. For four aging men in the terror-stricken town of Melbourne, New York, an act inadvertently carried out in their youth has come back to haunt them. Now they are about to learn what happens to those who believe they can bury the past and get away with murder. And last but not the least is The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. The Turn of the Screw traces the story of young, inexperienced governess who is charged with the care of Miles and Flora, two small orphan children abandoned by their uncle at his grand country house. The governess sees the figure of an unknown man on the tower and his face at the window. She also sees a woman. From the list of books I gave, their common similarities are supernatural elements that cannot be explained by science. Some are with touch of horror that also can give you goosebumps. While reading those, browse and read for more exciting books.
But supernatural can be interrelated and be quite confused by readers. Well, in fact, they do differ from each other. What is the difference between supernatural fiction and paranormal fiction? Paranormal and supernatural fiction are closely related literary genres that are often used interchangeably, but there are subtle differences between the two. Paranormal refers to the idea that there are certain phenomena that are outside the realm of scientific understanding but could potentially be explained by science one day, even if the changes are slim. The paranormal genre includes creatures like zombies, werewolves, aliens, and ghosts, as well as phenomena like telepathy and time travel. Supernatural refers to phenomena that are forever outside the realm of scientific explanations such as God, the afterlife, and the soul. Numerous wildly popular book series fall within the paranormal fiction include Twilight series by Stephanie Meyer, Immortals After Dark series by Chris Cole, Side Challenging series by Nalini Singh, and many more.
Now that you have already know about these genres, it is now time to test what you have learned. I, together with my group mates, are thanking you for watching and listening to our video presentation. Have a good day!